Blue Story is a gacha series made by Victaton. The main character is a young man named Blue who is straight out of college and decided to work at the same company his sister works. But his boss and co-workers are all trying to get in his pants with or without his consent. From what I understand, the series aims to make 2 points. 1. How not all abusers look like creepy old male CEOs. Abusers come in all shapes and sizes. Your sweet female friend could be an abuser. Your friendly and understanding boss could be an abuser. Your coworker could be an abuser, even your freaking sister. 2. Guys can be victims too. All victims, irrespective of gender, deserve to be able to voice out their abuse without having to worry about being judged, because it is disgusting how male victims are not taken as seriously as their female counterparts. If a guy gets raped, he's lucky, but if a girl gets raped, then it's an atrocity. Of course, there are cases where girls are labeled sluts, or people say it's their fault because of their clothing. Because guys have urges, and that way of thinking is harmful to both men and women. When people stereotype guys as these wild animals with no self-control, when they get raped, people think the guy liked it anyway, so no big deal. That mindset is something Magenta uses as a way to manipulate Blue into sleeping with her. But that's something I'll expand on later in the video. But even with that, female victims are still treated with more respect than male victims. Even in Western media, when adult women sleep with underage guys, it's treated as a joke.
Hey!
Emily! Bonjour. This is Theo.
Nice to meet you, Emily. Camille told me wonderful things about you.
Oh, do you work for the company? Oh no, he's the brother I talked to you about. But I thought that I met your brother yesterday on the floor and at dinner. Oh, Timothy? He's 17. But he said that he finished college. How could a 17-year-old be out of college?
You're thinking of université in France is, how do you say, junior high?
That is needlessly confusing.
Roman American. Oh. Sorry for that, I bite too hard.
Oh my God. You said that you wanted me to meet your brother, okay? And I didn't know he was drinking a lot of champagne. Emily, come with me. I didn't know.
See how everyone else thinks it's funny except for the mom, but they wouldn't be so calm if the genders were switched. Male victims are taken even less seriously when the abuser is a woman, because women are seen as frail and weak. So how can a woman seriously assault a man? You see how all this boomerangs back to misogyny, but that's a topic for another day. And 3. Each experience of SA is different, as each abuser in this series has different ways they assault Blue. Before I jump into the theories, I want to say that power isn't just the physical kind. Magenta uses her position as power over Blue. Another example of this is when Terry Crews was assaulted by a powerful agency executive named Adam Bennett. But people mocked him when he came out about it because he's a huge guy, so they were like, nah, no way, don't believe it for a second.
It was riveting testimony.
I was sexually assaulted.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine actor Terry Crews pouring his heart out, talking about the day he was groped at a Hollywood party by a powerful movie agent.
The assault lasted only minutes, but what he was effectively telling me while he held my genitals in his hand was that he held the power, that he was in control.
It's something that very few men would ever dare speak about, especially in a public setting like a U.S. Senate hearing. The former football star was praised for his courage, but now he's being mocked by rap singer 50 Cent, who posted this insulting photo of Crews. "I got raped. My wife just watched." He also belittled Crews, questioning why he didn't defend himself when the movie agent allegedly grabbed his genitals while his wife stood next to him. Laugh out loud? What the blank is going on out here, man? They would have had to take me to jail.
They failed to realize the positional power Adam had over Terry at the time. So thankfully, Terry was able to sue him. Okay, now I'm going to start my theories on each character of Blue's story. But if you find this topic uncomfortable, please don't hesitate to click out of this video. So sit back, relax, and please watch me ramble. I'm starting off with Purple because I think she's the most corrupt. My reasons are because 1. She has both black eyes and a black tongue, while the rest have only one feature of themselves that is black. 2. She views Blue as something I can't say. 3. She's trying to groom Red. And 4. I think there's like a color scale rank thingy, but I'll explain that more later. Before someone asks, Don't they all see blue as that? Well, my answer is yes and no, and I'll explain when I move on to the others. Purple was first introduced in the video What I Want, and in there we see Blue trying to leave a dark room, and he has some dark things on his face. His heart was already beating fast before Purple was revealed in there, which makes me believe that he already had a round with her and was desperate to leave. She tells him just one more time, so he reluctantly agrees to do it again. You can see his eyes go from blue to no color, which shows how he's sort of given up and feels helpless in the situation. Purple is saying to Blue in the lyrics in the video, more awake inside of my dreams, so it's like she's telling him that in her fantasies of him he's more vibrant, so he's disappointing her. As she was taunting him by saying, "Was that really you next to me?" So it's clear she noticed that he felt dead inside because of their intimacy. But instead of it bothering her, she's beckoning him to act happy. To explain it better, imagine a guy harassing a girl and she shows her discomfort, so the guy tells her to show him a pretty smile. Yeah, so it's kinda like that. When Blue goes back to her, she licks his ear with her black tongue, and I notice his ear's color becomes darker, and it's the same color as the black stuff on its face. So it symbolizes that Purple is corrupting Blue. I also noticed Blue had no mouth in this particular video, so I think that was to show how he had no say in it. Even though he went along with it, he wasn't actually consented to it. I think that's also cemented with the lyrics, "Who am I supposed to please?" The text is blue, but when it repeats it as "Who am I?", the eye turns from blue to purple, meaning the only person having pleasure from it is Purple. In another video, Loveful, it's more about red, but Purple has a little but huge part in it. Let me explain. In the beginning of the Loveful meme, we see the different reactions of the others when they see Red's obsession with Blue. Purple's reaction was oddly happy, and you also see her black eyes. I don't know how to explain the pose, but it's like when you're searching for something, so it was like she spotted something she could use to her advantage. At the end of the video, we see Purple whispering something to Red, then the next scene is of Blue flirting with Magenta, then it cuts to Red's face, while everything besides her eyes turn black, kind of showing that Purple succeeded in corrupting her. I think Purple is trying to get Red to become like a YandeRed or something. Either that or she wants Red to be comfortable with sharing Blue, but I don't think it's the latter because in another video, Shut Up Sleep With Me, Purple makes Red watch as Magenta drags Blue to her office, and the lyrics say "When will we go?" and the colors for go are purple and red, meaning Red is waiting for orders from Purple, so maybe Purple is using Red like her little minion to use against Magenta. I also take back what I said before about Purple looking like she was searching for something, because when she makes Red watch Blue get dragged away, she has the same pose. It makes it seem like she's actually trying to cover her eyes from the rest for only Red to see because she's trying to groom her in secrecy. But my conclusion of her character is that she's dangerous and unpredictable. What I know so far about her is she SA'd Blue and she's trying to use Red most likely to get Blue all to herself. But what I don't know is how far she'll go to achieve her goal, which is kinda scary. Lavender is Blue's older sister, as you can see in a photo of them in his wallet. As I mentioned earlier, she works at the same company as him, and most likely recommended him to work there after he graduated. Lavender portrays herself as a good person, even Blue thinks she's a good sister. In the Look Don't Touch meme, Lavender offers to buy Blue gifts since he's broke, and he was extremely happy and hugged her to show appreciation. She buys a lot of gifts for Blue. He feels a little overwhelmed, but he isn't complaining and seems very grateful. She also gets uncomfortably close to him when he picks out an outfit, telling him not to worry and to buy what he wants. He doesn't see anything wrong with it, because he's only seeing her good side. There's a sequence when he tries out different outfits, and you'll see Purple keeps ogling him in the different outfits he wears. We don't actually see her watch him, but it's implied by the Lavender text for stare with lavender lights flashing at his every direction. The only time she stops is when Pink is there, and that is because she doesn't want to get caught and ruin her good image. When Pink leaves, it gives a chance for Lavender to sneak and watch Blue change, as her real intention for buying him clothes was to do just that, but to her shock, Blue catches her in the act and is rightfully pissed. When he calls her out for that, she gaslights him, telling him he was being paranoid and that she was just checking on him. She also brought up how she couldn't possibly have bad intentions since she's a good person. But I just want to point out her eyes are black, so similarly to Purple, she closes them to keep her good image. Then with the lyrics, Lavender calmly says "Don't touch it." Her text is bold and assertive, while when Blue says that, it's small and wobbly, showing how he's shaking and panicking. Then the sequence continues until Lavender is able to get Blue to calm down and he rethinks if he was just overreacting. But this still traumatizes Blue, making him self-conscious when he's about to sit down, because he doesn't want to appear intimate, fearful that Lavender will stare at him again. The background changes from purple to orange when Red distracts him by asking him what's wrong. Lavender is fine with just visually essaying him, as she only sees him as a you-know-what. She has no empathy for him as a sister, and that is shown in the "Shut Up, Sleep With Me" meme. When she had the opportunity of saving Blue from Magenta, heck, he was even giving her signals to get him out of there, but she refused because she doesn't care about his well-being. A comment in the video pointed out that maybe Lavender allowed it for the chance that there might be security cameras in the office so she can watch Blue have you-know-what. And in my opinion, I highly doubt that, because there's no way Magenta, a married woman, would do the deed with Blue in her office knowing that there are cameras in there. So it's most likely that Lavender just doesn't give a frick, which just shows how terrible of a person she is. It's just so heartbreaking how Blue still thought she would at least have his back, but she betrayed him and let him get assaulted. At the end of the video, when his eyes turned black, there was no expression on his face. I think it showed how he was done with Lavender, so in future videos with her, I don't think he's going to trust her again. My conclusion of her character is that she has no empathy, but isn't willing to go to great lengths to get Blue sexually like Purple or Magenta, because she has a reputation she wants to keep. That's why she was completely fine with Red's obsession with Blue, but I can only imagine how she would act if she didn't care about her image. Magenta is the first character we see in the series besides Blue, and is also the only other woman besides Purple to full-on essay him. This makes me think there'll be a rivalry going on between her and Purple. That's why Purple's trying to put Red against Magenta. But anyway, in the On the Floor meme, the first video in the series, it seemed to have happened during the Shut Up Sleep With Me meme, because Blue was sitting down on a chair without his jacket, and we saw in the Shut Up Sleep With Me meme that Magenta had removed his jacket and sat him down on a chair. Also note how he has black lipstick all over his face, because Magenta's black feature is her lips. Blue has no mouth, similar to how he had no mouth in the What I Want meme, because he has no say in what Magenta is doing to him. In the Kiss Me meme, I noticed that Magenta's lips are white, not black. And the reason why is because they were only flirting with each other. You see, when Blue first met Magenta, he was attracted to her and flirted with her, which she liked, but when he found out that she was married, he apologized. But at that point, she loved his affection for her, so she didn't want him to stop, even though she was married, which makes me believe she's in a loveless marriage. But I'll get to that later. So she started flirting with him, and he tried to resist her, but he ended up allowing her to kiss him because he had a crush on her. In the Loveful meme, when Purple shows Red, Magenta, and Blue flirting with each other, we see Blue flirting with Magenta and blushing, but it becomes uncomfortable when she teases him sexually. You can see that Magenta's lips are grey because she's slowly becoming corrupt, because she's not satisfied with flirts anymore. She wants more. In the Shut Up Sleep With Me meme, she tries to subtly expose herself to see Blue's reactions, but gets pissed off when he ignores them, because she expected him to look since he flirts with her. That's why she calls him boring in the lyrics and thinks he's pretending not to be interested. Her lips are white during that, showing that she genuinely thinks he wants her that way. A comment in the video wondered why Blue didn't back out when she dragged him into her office and pinned him, but he was confused. One minute he was mad at Purple for distracting Red from her work, the next minute he was snatched from nowhere and shoved into her office. When Magenta asks him to sleep with her, he's shocked because he doesn't want to do that with a married woman, so he shoves her off him. For a second, Magenta looks guilty because the entire time she thought he wanted that too. That's why her lips are blue during that moment. But she snaps out of it when Blue brings up that she's married, which makes her angry, so she covers up her wedding photo. This is why I think she's in a loveless marriage. In the photo, her husband had a wolf mask, which makes me think that she was also a victim of abuse because wolves symbolize predators. She was also probably young and naive, so her older and experienced husband rushed her into marrying him, convincing her that they were in love, but ended up trapping her in the marriage. That's why she keeps emphasizing that Blue is free. She also thinks Blue is just pretending to be good and can see past his real intentions since he's a man and all men want you-know-what from a woman. This foul mindset was probably because of her husband. Magenta then tried manipulating him into thinking he does want it by pointing down to his arousal, which Victaton made clear in the video that fear can also cause that, so it doesn't mean he wants it. Blue ended up feeling confused and unsure of what he wanted when he looked down at himself, which allowed Magenta to get what she wanted from it. She tried relaxing him into it by sitting him down and taking off his jacket, meaning she was in control. He's got nothing to worry about since he's young and free. Her lips are black because she uses her voice to manipulate, and in the video her nails are also black, showing how she's hurting him. When Lavender shows up in the meme, the background changes from black to white, showing how she was meant to be hope for Blue to escape. But with her being the disgusting sister she is, she abandoned him and the background turned to Magenta, showing Magenta has all the power. My conclusion of her character is that she has some trauma from her marriage and is desperate for attention and love. She not only sees Blue as a you-know-what, but also has an unhealthy emotional attachment to him. She manipulated both Blue and herself into thinking he wants her too. but deep down she knows it's wrong. Remember when I said there's a color rank thingy? Well, the rank goes purple, lavender, magenta, and pink. Red isn't part of this rank. I'll explain when I talk about her. Purple is the most corrupt and pink is the least. Pink isn't even an abuser, she doesn't show up as one of the girls in the intro. She and Blue just seem to be friends. Though she might like him seeing how she looked upset when she saw how Red looked at him, and also when they danced together in one scene, but I can't say for sure. Since there's little information about Pink right now, I'm not going to try making theories about her in this video, but I do find it interesting how one of her eyes is blue and the other is purple. But maybe it's to show her loyalties to both Blue and Purple, since she's friends with Blue but also co-workers with Purple, so they probably also are friends. And she has no idea about Purple's bad side. Lavender is less corrupt than Purple, seeing how she's not diabolic, but like I said before, she's most likely holding back because of her reputation. Magenta isn't as corrupt as Purple or Lavender, since she doesn't see Blue as only a you-know-what, and she has actual feelings for him, seeing how she got mad at Red for having feelings for Blue. But she's definitely not so good, seeing how she manipulated him into doing it with her. Now that I've explained that, back to the characters. Oh, sweet Red. She's both an unintentional abuser and a victim. That is why she's not in the ranking. Her eyes are white consistently in the series so far, showing how she only has good intentions. But she has blackmail, which shows her actions are bad. She likes Blue and tried confessing to him in Lawful, but he rejected her, which made her feel bad. But he reassured her that they'd stay friends, but in her mind she thought he meant he liked her. So because she thought he liked her, she bombarded him with love letters, and it got to the point where he tried avoiding her because she was annoying him. Her trying to get close to him but hurting him with her nails in the process really emphasizes how she has good intentions but bad action. Some comments said that she might have borderline personality disorder, so I decided to check out the definition, and it's a mental illness that severely impacts a person's ability to manage their emotions. This loss of emotional control can increase impulsivity, affect how a person feels about themselves, and negatively impact their relationships with others. Seeing how impulsive Red is, I agree that she probably has that, and that makes her even more vulnerable to Purple's manipulation. As of now, Red's eyes are still white and innocent, and I hope it stays that way. Blue is young, free, naive, and fresh out of college. He was attracted to Magenta and flirted with her until he found out she was married. He's a nice guy and is also able to stand up for himself sometimes, like when he shoved off Magenta or when he called out Lavender, but unfortunately both of them manipulated him into doubting himself. It's sad that he's not able to voice out all the abuse he's getting from these women. I'm a little worried his vibrant blue would drain off as the series goes, but I hope Victaton will make a happy ending for him. I saw a comment that wondered why all of them were so into him, and I think I can explain. For Purple, it's because of his innocence. She wants to corrupt him. For Lavender, she's just disgusting. She probably has always viewed him as a little toy. For Magenta, it's because she craves affection, and for Red, it's because she likes his personality. Making this series, Victaton got some backlash, but I respect them for shedding light on this, and I love all the details they kept in there. I might have even missed some. I can see there's a lot of dedication they put into this, and they made it clear they're not glorifying SA at all, and are using their platform to spread awareness. So let's allow Blue to share his story. Thank you for staying this long. Please like and subscribe to become a Mipsy. It has been scientifically proven that when you become one, good things happen to you. Don't believe me? Try right now.